Hey guys, I'm Evan from Country View Acres, and today I got Van from Beckhart Fence here. Hopefully you remember him. He came here last year. He helped us put up the high tensile fence that's the perimeter of this pasture. And you've come back today to help me with some electric fence.
I have. We're going to have a good project here. You're going to have a really nice pasture. We did the fixed knot last year. I thought it turned out great as a perimeter fence on this. And a great option that we're going to do today is this smooth wire high tensile for divider fence, because you will see a little more with animals getting through the high tensile, but if we do, it's not going to matter. They're still contained in the perimeter fence, so we're going to have a nice fence. Really looking forward to this build and being back with all the Country View Acre viewers. It's always fun to get back and get to interact, so love it.
Yeah, I will say I have some of the best viewers on YouTube. They're very consistent. They watch all the time. They're very encouraging. So we're going to be doing a 5-strand electric fence. And I've never done one before, high tensile wire, so Van's gonna walk me through it. So I've got 4 fence poles that are ready to go, 2 long ones, 2 short ones, and we're gonna start with short ones so that Van can kind of go through it instructionally and just kind of walk through it and kind of get me on board.
That's it, and that's the thing that a lot of people are intimidated by high tensile electric fence. The reason they're intimidated is you've got a lot of parts. If I'm putting up a woven fence or barbed wire, I pull the wire from post to post, connect it. But when we start talking about high tensile electrified wire, we've got insulators, and then there's just insulators alone. There's probably 30 or 40 different types of insulators. So when you go into a retail store and you see all of these different components, you get terrified. It's which ones do I need? Why do I want these instead of these? So electric fence can be intimidating because of the amount of parts that go into it, but it's actually a really easy fence. It's not a very labor-intensive fence to put up, and it works good when it's built properly. So what we're going to do here, first we've built really good braces. We've got metal pipe here, works really well. It's going to be a post that lasts forever. You did a good job. I'm guessing you've used OSPO or something, a rust inhibitor on this.
They've been rust converted.
Great. So once you do that, these posts will last for forever, basically. As long as me or you need them to. We'll be long gone before these posts are gone. But you did that, then you've used the in-style bullet braces here. So these are an easy bolt together. I know we talked to a contractor yesterday in Oklahoma, and they're getting ready to put a burn ban on. And his customer's got livestock coming in. He's got to get that fence done, so he's getting ready to start using the bullet braces there. Or if you don't have the ability to weld, this is a good, easy way to put these together. And we've used them before on the fixed knot fence, but worked really good. So what we're going to do here is we're doing a 5-strand fence, and we're using the Speed Right end strains, heavy duty end strains. So we're going to put these on, and we're going to run 3 hot and 2 ground on this. So we'll get started, and I'll show you how to tie what they call a high tensile knot, and it's a slip knot. So one of the issues using smooth wire with pipe is with the smooth wire, sometimes it wants to walk up and down a little, so we're going to have to babysit our ends just a little bit as we put tension on the fence. Once you get tension on it, it'll stay, but this high tensile knot will do a good job about pulling up tight, and once you get it up tight, and it's basically a slip knot for wire. So once it pulls up tight, it's not going to move up and down on that post if animals run into it. So to tie this New Zealand knot, what we wanted to do is go around the fence. I was taught to go over, so I come around and go over, and then back underneath, and up and through between the post and the loop you made. Pull around, and you'll see that slides up. So we'll slide up, so I go over, under, through, over, and then I want to come back underneath, and then right around, and I'm going to do 2 to 3 wraps right here, and then you can turn this wire 90 degrees, and it'll snap right off, give you a nice smooth, break there, but then that'll slide. So once we put tension, that'll pull right up tight on your post and hold it in place.
All right, my turn to try. I'm gonna wrap it around the same direction Van did. He went over, through, and then did you slide it at this point in time?
Yeah, if you'll slide it up, it helps hold, because that knot will try to roll on you. Take this and pull it right up on your post. That'll make it so much easier for you to tie, and then I'll hold a little tension.
Okay.
Yeah.
Under.
All right, one thing.
We bend the handle.
Yeah, if you bend the handle, it makes you control that stack a whole lot better.
Okay.
All right, now stop. Now come back to you.
Now what?
So come back up to here
Okay.
and turn that 90 degrees. And then when you crank it around, it'll break.
Oh. Okay, that's a little bit hard to demonstrate right there.
Yeah.
Because it's like you bend it and then you almost,
Yeah.
you like over bend it and then you
and
go
then
back.
come back just a hair.
Okay.
Couple of things. One, a lot of guys will go ahead and bend that and put a good bend in it right there. Then come back and go through. So once I get to here, I go ahead and tighten that wrap down a little tighter. You see how you had a big.
Yep.
And
Mine
then,
wasn't tight.
Yeah. So then I'm gonna pull up close to my post, then grab my wire from underneath, and putting that handle in it. So I put the handle in it all at once, so you almost don't see it when I bring it around. But that handle, what it does is it lets you control your stack, and you can keep those right in close. So then when you break, come up, I'm gonna go over it and come back, turn 90 degrees and right down beside of itself. And that gives you your break. I always use these Speed Ride end strains because they're heavy duty, but they've got a porcelain infused. So you'll see some of these with plastic. You'll hear people talk about them cutting over time. That porcelain infused makes this harder than plastic, but it's not as brittle as the porcelain ones. So it's just a good mix of having some softness and pliability to it, but then not being too brittle. So on this one, there's a couple ways you can do it. One, you can put a crimp on these if you want to, and just crimp that together. We're gonna tie, so I wanna bring this around, and then I'm gonna give about 5 to 7 wraps here. And then that'll pop right off.
All right, we got 3 wires tied on with the insulators. So what's the next step?
So we're going to go down, repeat this process on the far end. That'll give us our terminations, insulated terminations on both ends. And once we get that, then we can start pulling wire.
I'm trying to keep these wraps tight with this high tensile. It's a little bit hard when you're trying to hold.
It is.
When you're trying to hold what you're tying to. Ah, I got the break.
All right.
Success. That one actually didn't look bad. Here, check out that.
No, that turned out really good.
So on this high tensile fence, we're gonna have 3 hot wires and we're gonna have 2 grounded wires in between those, and we're just running the hot wires right now. Now we're gonna go ahead and tie our fence run off to it.
And then we're going to do the same thing with about 5 to 7 wraps.
Yeah, but you're just trying to get those wraps as tight, as close as possible to that insulator so it can't slide off the sides. And there you go, that's what it looks like.
We're pulling our wire here. We're going back down to the end we started on to tie off. But in the process, we've got to have a way to tension this wire. So you can put a ratchet in here and split your wire, tie off, and use that to tension. We're going to use the gripples. The gripples are a little more economical to use, work just as well.
Yeah, these gripples are about 1/4 of the price of a ratchet.
We determined before we started, we're going to go every 3rd hoe, and that's going to give us about a 9-inch spacing on it, which should work good with the sheep. From the ground up, we're going to be about 12 to 14 inches, but that gives us room for grass growth and without shortening this fence out.
Yeah, we were worried about sheep going under, trying to find the perfect height for not grounding out on the grass, but yet trying to keep the sheep from crawling under.
Yeah. So here is going to be our ground, so we're going straight to the post with it. We don't have to
no insulators.
Put an insulator on this one.
Yep. Gonna tension up that bottom wire we ran.
And really we're wanting to get to about 200, 250 pounds of tension, which is not much more than the slack out of it.
Well, that's the last wire on this little small section.
All right, so we've got this first section completed up and wanted to show you a few things. You'll notice we've got the end strains in, and then we've got one without an insulator. Then one, so what we did was with this 5-strand fence, we did 3 hots and 3 grounds. And we did that because we've got sheep in here and with the wool on them, and then their hoof size compared to their body size isn't very good. So we're going to use this ground wire to help ground those animals, because when you don't get a good ground, the way electric fence works is when the animal touches the hot fence, they complete the circuit kind of like a light switch through their feet back to the ground rod. That's what gives them the shock felt. So if they don't ground very well, you got bad soil conditions, or they got small or compact feet or hoofs, they're not going to ground out really well. So we put the ground wires in, so when they try to stick their head through, they'll get the felt shock between the wires rather than having it all hot and having to depend on the ground. And right now we're really dry up here. So in a dry condition, you also lose it because the moisture in the soil is what gives you that conductivity back to your ground rods. So little different style fence than a lot of people are used to building with electric, but it's a very effective fence. It'll get you through August, September when you get dry.
So we got one more short run, just like the one we did. We're gonna go ahead, we'll do this one together. I'm doing this one left-handed, it's pretty ugly. That wire heats up when you bend it.
Yeah, it does.
Well, there's the knot I tied. Pretty ugly. The van is stepping on one side of the wire and holding the insulator with the other side. That way he can keep tension on both sides as he's wrapping. It looks good. All right, we got our next section of fence done. It's really hard to see this wire on here, but we've got 5 strands going down here, and then the next little section down there is all done. So now we have the long run going that direction and this long run going that way.
We're here on this long pole, and what we're doing is we're getting ready to split the wire, use the same technique to tighten this. But what we did is we counted 15 posts each direction. We've got 30 total, but we want to make this pool in the middle, because what will happen a lot of times if we get close to one end, we're going to be really tight on one end, but through the friction of running through these timeless posts, through the terrain, we're not going to get a good even pull. So you'll have slack on the far end. And that's one of the great things about the gripple, is you can go back and retighten later. But if we can get in the middle, get pretty even tension on this, we do it one time and then we don't have to worry about it. So every chance we get, we want to get to the middle of the fence and put our tension on at the middle point. All right, so you can see we ran out of wire on the strain right Jenny, but what we did is when we loaded it, we went ahead and tied it off. It's always important to tie that wire off, because if not, when we'd have hit the end, this would have recooled down behind us and we'd have had to re-pull back maybe 60, 75 feet. So we're going to join this. We're going to just cut this wire here and we're going to crimp it to the other. There's a figure 8 knot you can tie, but using these timeless posts, and because we're going through the holes on it, a figure 8 knot won't fit through those. So we're going to slide through. These crimps have grit in them. It's supposed to be there. It looks almost like sand, but that gives it holding power. So what you want to do is slide through, get you a little bit of tail on each side of it. Then you'll take a crimping tool. We're going to start on one end and just work our way down. And you'll notice we're using the long crimps. Long crimps will match the breaking strength of the wire. If you use the short crimps, you want to stack 3 of them end to end.
So here's the crimp right there, and it should fit the hole in the timeless T-post, and it did. So we can still pull it.
Okay. A trick that I've learned is so I can get back in with my tool on these is I take my pliers and I'm gonna bend around right here and just make me a little loop like so. And with that high tensile, I don't want to get a whole bunch of wraps there or it'll catch up. So I'm gonna go about 1 or so. Make that off. But what that'll do is that allows me, if I need to come back and retension this, I can still get on. I catch that right up in there. And then I've got the ability to go ahead and retension that fence.
And yeah, our tail is tied off so it's not poking any animals.
So we've got this stretch tensioned up, and one common mistake we see with high tensile a lot is people want to over tension it like it's barbed wire or fixed knot fence, where you're getting up in a 500, 550 pound tension range. With smooth wire, this is a psychological barrier, not a physical. So this is going to be electrified to prevent animals from touching it. But the reason we want this in the 200, 250 pound range is if one of Evan's sheep run into this fence, we want them to be able to flip through this and then be able to pull back out. We don't want to get this so tight that if one flips in it, they're going to be entrapped, continue to be shocked over and over again, or when they pull out, potentially do some pretty serious damage. So we're going to leave it slack. We get some bounce in it. And then if you're in a forested area too, if a tree falls on this, we can cut the tree off and it's going to spring back up into place. Flip over to the middle.
All right, we just finished up the 4th run of fence. We got it all tensioned, and that's everything I had ready for Van when he got here. Now there's still more to do. There's gonna be some insulators that need to go on some of these metal pipes here to keep it from grounding out. We also have the energizer to put up, ground rods to put in. We're all gonna do that probably tomorrow. But to finish out the rest of the day, what I think we're gonna do is we have this sacrifice area back here, and we've got our pipes in the ground. We just need to bolt together a brace here, and we bolt together a brace there. Total of 6 braces we need to put together. So I think we're gonna end up doing that next, and then we may try to get, there's a few timeless T-posts that need to go in between these braces. I think we'll see if we get those in the ground, and then we'll probably call it a day. And then tomorrow will be more of the electrical portion of the electric fence. Well, it's 3:40 in the afternoon. We got all the 6 braces on that side done, and we got the 4 runs ran earlier, so I think we're sitting in pretty good shape.
I believe so. There'll be some work tomorrow getting everything tied together where we can run electric on it, but had a good day. We put up a lot of fence in a hurry this morning, and I think we slowed down a little when it got hot today. But
the afternoon, yeah, definitely. We slowed down, didn't film as much this afternoon, that's for sure, but I think we made pretty good progress, and we got more different things to show tomorrow.
Yep. Absolutely.
With the
electric jumping, we're going to bring the Energizer out. We're going to talk about them, how they work, why they don't work sometimes. So we'll talk about multiple things with it that will help somebody at home if they put in electric fence. So
yeah.
It's like I said, it's very intimidating to do electric. It's not a hard fence to put up, but there's a lot of different things that can go wrong with them. So,
and like I never really thought about it, like you said earlier, so many parts and pieces, and that's true. So many manufacturers, there's so many things. Like, where do you find the right pieces? Like, I want to try to do some type of a electric fence gate here instead of buying a hard fence gate. You know, like and that'd be a lot cheaper to do, but to find the parts and pieces to do that so that it stays upright, stays electrified when you have it up, but maybe not electrified when you have it down.
Yeah,
a lot of little tricks.
There is, and one thing too, when you put in a gate, you probably still want this fence over here electrified.
Yep.
So there's some tricks to that. There's some pieces that people make, some products that they manufacture. They do a good job at that, but it's about getting it set up right in the beginning, so your fence will last a long time and it will hold up, and then do what you need it to. But you don't want animals running through the fence when you come in to feed, so you've got to get it set up.
Yeah.
So.
But Van, he's been here since like 8 o'clock this morning, somewhere in there. So we've put in close to an 8-hour day already. Didn't take any lunch break. We just stopped and drank some water a little bit. So long day. Van will be back tomorrow, and we'll get more done.
Yep, I'm looking forward to it.
Now, to finish out my day, I just got to get the evening chores done, and then after that we're going to head over to the pig pen. And they have got in the trailer. They ate the marshmallows I put in there. They've ate out of the feed trough. I've thrown marshmallows in the livestock trailer a few times, and I know that they're eating them. So I know at least one pig is going in and out of the trailer. But we're going to go over there and see if we can get all 3 pigs in the trailer, because we need to load them in like a week. No eggs. There's all the eggs. 10 eggs all in one spot. Well, using the shirt as an egg basket. I'm glad that the chickens are laying again. There for a while, like the last month or a month ago or so, they were all molting or something, I think, and we weren't getting hardly any eggs. We were down to like maybe 1 or 2 eggs in the house. And I had to stop eating eggs every day for breakfast. But now I can go back to my daily 3 eggs every morning. There's one of them is in the trailer right now. Hey, you're in here, ain't you? Oh, there's another one. Got 2 pigs in the trailer. Well, I threw marshmallows in the trailer this morning, and then I left these in the side-by-side. Look, they are completely melted together. Actually, there's some loose ones. There's some loose ones here in the bottom. There we go. All right! All 3 pigs in the trailer. That is success. So we know we can get them in here. Not too hard. They came in all on their own. So now I just need to start that feed trough right there. They ate all the feed out of it. So I need to fill it back up. And then we may lock them. Excuse me. We may end up locking them back in this small training pen here. This is where their water is. They have a shelter in here. And once we lock them in here, the only way they will eat is out of the feed trough in the trailer. I think that'll work out good, because then every day they have to go in and out to get their food. They're trying to bite my feet. Don't smell my hand because it's covered in marshmallows. Hey, you're eating my back pocket. But yeah, this for some reason, I mean, these pigs went in and out of the trailer way easier than any of the other pigs we've had. And I think a lot of it had to do with the old ramp that we had, because it had these metal ridges on it for them to not slide down. And I think that really bothered them. It didn't feel right. And yeah, I just think that old ramp was one of the reasons they were hard to load in a trailer. They just didn't like having to walk up that ramp. Well, now we have a dirt ramp, and it feels like second nature. So I think it's made a big difference on getting the pigs in and out. So right here, this is the old pig loading ramp. We found it on the property, and see, it has these like metal ridges here for them to not slide down the ramp. And these, I think, felt weird to their feet. They just didn't really seem to like going up and down that ramp. It was hard for them to get used to it. So I think the new loading chute's gonna work out really good. Well, I think that wraps up everything I needed to get done. I will say, after doing that high tensile fence all day long, if nobody's messed with it before, is like no comparison between like your standard farm store fence. Like it just bends so hard, and my hands are completely sore, and I know they're even going to be sore in the morning, so it's going to be worse tomorrow when we go out there and tie the rest of that fence. But well worth it in the end. I think it's going to be a nice divider fence. It's really just going to help out in the end when we rotationally graze this pasture. It's going to make life so much simpler. All I got to do is short runs of temporary fence to make different paddocks, and it's just going to be set up really to make everything easy. That's for sure. But anyway, I think that's going to be it for this video, guys. So I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one.